I'm finna get mean in this mug. I'm finna get mean in this mug. Because I feel like that's what you have to do, right? I've been afraid of my own power. My voice has been under attack, and I have been doubting myself big time. All of this is reflective of the events that took place in the garden when Eve got tricked out of her spot. She let that dark entity trick her out of her spot because she was looking for the validation outside of herself versus trusting the God in her, the God who made her. And as you know, as I've been saying, God has been blessing me with opportunities to explore the complexities and the nuances of identity. This is sexy work. If I do say so myself, this is sexy work. My gosh. And you know, that's not a word that I typically use. I like to use the word alluring, but this is sexy, deep work, and I'm here for it. It's so poetic. It's so poetic. The way that God would take what was meant for harm and use it for your good. It's so artistic. It's like, I don't know what it's like what artists do when they sculpt, but what a mighty God we serve. Let me turn the AC up in here. Lately, I've been feeling like Elsa from Frozen. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching that movie. But Elsa's archetype is the tortured hero, this tormented hero, where she has this beautifully magical power, magically dangerous, beautifully dangerous magical power, and she's afraid of it because she hasn't been taught how to wield her power. Her parents are afraid of it. You know, she was playing with her sister and she let a little bit out and her sister fell back and got hurt, and all of a sudden it was like, ooh, let's contain this power. It's not safe. It's not safe to be seen in the fullness of who you are, Elsa. It's not safe, so you have to build up these beautiful ice castles. And that's what I've done. But the thing about building an ice castle is that I can't let myself get out and no one can get in. And how could I do this when I've been preaching? You got to allow yourself to be seen. You see me do this, right? You see me go like this. And that's what's happening. Wanting to be seen, but afraid to be seen. Wanting to let myself be free, not necessarily be seen. Not wanting to be seen. That wasn't my issue. Is it safe for me to be seen? Is it safe for me to let myself go? Got a few notes. I wrote down Elsa connection. And what I'm caught is between divine authority and human approval. Right? I'm caught between who I am and who I think I need to be. And of course, this reflects the enemy's oldest trick. Oh! This is what I mean when I say Eve got tricked out of her spot in the garden. This reflects the enemy's oldest trick, which is separation from true identity. Caught between who you are and who you think you need to be to show up in this world. What a scam! What a scam! What a scam! That's why I feel like telling the enemy when these thoughts come up, I just got to be like, you don't run me. You don't run me. And as a matter of fact, run me my stuff. I want all my shit back. I want it all back. Yup. Hold on. Excuse me. Yup, that's what it's looking like. That's what we on right now. And disclaimer. This video is purely for my pleasure and self-expression. Purely for my pleasure and self-expression. That's what we own. This is for me, but dedicated to you, Head Turner. Dedicated to the Christian woman who carries what I call the good girl's burden. To the woman who has been tamed and wants to be free. This is what freedom looks like. One small step. I think about, I had to say that because I let a curse word out. I let out a curse word and then I'm letting myself be seen. But you know what? Yeah, it's about the intent. And this, I don't want to be reckless. I'm not encouraging that, and I'm not inviting that at this point, because the heart is still pure. It's edification. And at the same time, for me, you ain't got to explain yourself, Monique. You ain't got to explain yourself. But it's kind of like I know better, where I'm toting the line between sacred and profane. But this is sacred rage that I'm on. Something beautiful is going to come out of this. This whole experience is not for naught. Something beautiful is coming out of this. And I want my stuff back. I want it all back. All the power, shamelessness, guilt-free, not hiding, not building up these ice castles. Because you know what this is about? This is about honoring the wholeness and honoring the fullness of who you are. Because as I mentioned a couple months ago in the video about, what identity in Christ really means, when Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, right? A split happened. They were fragmented. And who humanity was compartmentalized. It was separated. It was fragmented, split. And the work of feminine influence, the work of the 6 self-mastery skills, right? Which is me taking my own medicine right now. Like, yes, this makes so much sense. Because it's about integrating. It's about becoming the fullness of who you are. Becoming the fullness of who I am, and integrating and letting myself be seen, and no more barrier between who I am and what I allow others to see. And to be honest with you, that ain't never really been who I am. I've never really felt like I had to put on. I do it because I like to. I like to look good, and that's who my mama raised, So it's not like I'm doing extra. I do it for me because I want to, because I like it, because it feels good, because it's who I am. It's just me, right? And somehow, it's like, I don't know, somehow I got scared. I got scared when it felt like, when I had a taste of it. That's when it was, when I had like a little taste of it. Like, oh my gosh, this feels like too much. And this video and others to come is an example of Monique building up her internal infrastructure, building up the inner capacity. Skill number 6 of moving powerfully, right? The authority, because that's what our faith is on, power and authority. Right? Not our own authority, but the authority of God that's within me, and giving me permission to go forth and do my assignment. But you know what? Who I am, this passionate, sensual, compassionate, creative, strategic, empathetic woman feels like too much. It's too much. They can't take it. The spectators can't take it. People close to me, I can't even take it sometimes, right? Because I feel this chaos, like this internal chaos that's happening. And it's like, ooh, this is getting scary, right? My nervous system begins to send signals like boop, 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 boop. And then I sometimes find myself dimming my own light to make others feel comfortable. But here's what I really want to get to. The chaos in me is really a creative power. What I'm feeling is turned on. That's what it really is. As I began to craft this video, or just get my thoughts together, parts of me have felt super turned on, literally. And I'm like, oh snap, they ain't ready for this. Because it's about to get kinky. And it's like, show that, Monique, of course. And we've only been taught one way. We know one way of like sexual expression. And what I've been practicing is what happens if I feel all the feelings without needing anything to happen, right? Because oftentimes when I'm working and I'm getting my thoughts together, I be thinking to myself like, girl, this is some good stuff right here. This is some really good stuff. And I feel super turned on. And then what happens is that I procrastinate because I might get a snack. Then I get like stressed out and hyped up at the same time. So I'll eat, I'll listen to music, I'll dance, I'll call somebody, I get on the internet, I do something to distract myself, which is a delay, a distraction, and then oftentimes a detour. And it's the exact way that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. My mission. You may see yourself in this story. And so what I have been practicing, again, is building up that internal infrastructure. And this all makes sense. Because when I work with women like you, when I work with head turners, oftentimes what comes up is, we talk about dating, we talk about men because I think it's fun, but we also talk about work, we talk about purpose, we talk about business. And I used to be like, why are we talking about this? I thought this was, I'm a dating coach. Why are we talking about this? And really, I'm the Holy Hot Girl coach. So it all makes sense. But what I've come to realize is that this is all connected because purpose is erotic. You heard it here first. I just love that. Purpose is erotic. And so rather than creating safer versions of myself to reveal, this is not like let it all out, because this is what I teach. This is what I teach when I'm working with clients, right? We're doing gentle experiments. So the transformation has to be witnessed. In this case, the crash out has to be witnessed so that you know it's real. Lucky for you. Lucky for you. But this is also me taking a bite, taking a dose of my own medicine and living what I teach, what I preach, like living it out, being a living sermon of truth, a living testimony. I feel relief now, even as I'm recording this. I feel such a sense of relief and release. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Just making this video was one step to create safety, internal safety, so that my nervous system feels regulated as I continue to build up the internal infrastructure that is required for the next level. Because you can say you want something and not be ready for it. And for the longest time, I have been in la la land. And so, is there anything else I wanted to say here? Yep. It's just time to get raw. This video is dedicated to the good girls who like it raw. I love the sexual innuendo. I love that for me and I love that for us. Because it's my type of fun. Yep. Yep. This video, yep. A lot of me, a lot of I, because that's just what I'm on. And that's just how I'm finna. That's just what it is for right now. That's what it is. That's what it's looking like.